She wasn't supposed to feel anything. Commander Ira of the Zyrelian Guard had been genetically sculpted, psychologically conditioned, and culturally forbidden from experiencing the very concept of pleasure. In her world, duty came first, emotion was weakness, and intimacy was a concept buried beneath layers of protocol and genetic purity. Her race reproduced through selection chambers, matched by caste and DNA strands, not affection. And yet she trembled. The moment the human brushed his fingers across the deep scars on her back, scars no one had dared acknowledge, her body betrayed every law she'd sworn to uphold. "You're not broken," he whispered, eyes locking with hers. "You're beautiful." She should have arrested him for such insolence. But all she could do was breathe. And listen. And feel. It had started weeks ago on a diplomatic expedition. Earth was a curious planet to the Zyrelians, a chaotic, emotionally explosive species with a reckless disregard for genetic logic and social structure. But humans had something the Zyrelians didn't: emotional adaptability. Soul. Ira was sent as a high-ranking envoy. Not to make friends. Not to learn. But to ensure dominance in the coming negotiations. She met him during a security briefing. Lieutenant Mason. Human, bold, illogical, charming in a way she found annoying at first. He smiled too much. Asked questions that shouldn't be asked. Stood too close. Spoke too gently. And yet, he never disrespected her. Never underestimated her. While the others flinched at her height, her taloned fingers, her bioluminescent eyes, he met her gaze without flinching. Like he was seeing a person, not just a warrior. Their first real moment came when a cultural exchange was suggested. The humans shared art. The Zyrelians shared tactical simulations. It was supposed to be symbolic. But Mason, defiant as ever, handed her a brush and a canvas. "You ever paint what you feel?" She scoffed. "Feelings are biochemical chaos. So is a supernova. Still beautiful." She didn't know why she tried it. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe rebellion. But when she dipped that brush in color, something cracked. Not visibly, but deeply. Later that night, she found herself in the human recreational wing. She said it was for security inspection. He knew better. "Want to talk about it?" he asked. "About what?" "Why someone like you looks at color like it's forbidden fruit." She told him in pieces. About her training, her heritage, the punishment for disobedience, the pain of discipline. He didn't interrupt. He just listened like no one else ever had. One night turned to 2, then to 3. They started walking the observation deck together, sharing meals in silence, then in laughter. He made her laugh, and that terrified her more than any warship. She tried to pull away. She filed reports accusing him of distraction, of misconduct. But they were never submitted. He brought her a rose once, crimson red. It scent foreign, its meaning obvious. She crushed it in her palm, but not out of anger. Out of fear. He didn't flinch. He just said softly, "I'll bring another tomorrow. I've got time." No one had ever waited for her. And now here she stood. In his quarters. The room dim, quiet, pulsing only with the rhythmic glow of the earth moonlight through synthetic windows. He reached out, not forcefully. Not like a conqueror, but like someone waiting for permission. She should have stopped him. She didn't. When his fingers met her skin, when his touch traced the lines etched by years of discipline and denial, something inside her wept. Not tears, her species didn't cry, but there was a shudder deep in her core. "Ira," he said, using her name like it was sacred. "You don't have to be what they made you." Her voice trembled. "I don't know how to be anything else." He smiled. That soft, maddening human smile. "Then let me show you." The room grew still, breathless. Time didn't matter. Duty didn't matter. The galaxy didn't matter. What mattered was this moment. Her walls weren't torn down. They melted. And in that melting, she discovered something terrifying and beautiful. She could feel. But just as she let herself believe it, the emergency sirens howled through the station. An incoming transmission from the Zyrelian High Council. She froze. He stepped back gently. "You don't have to choose right now. But I'll be here, if you want to." She didn't speak. Just turned toward the comms console, heart beating in a rhythm she never thought possible. To be continued. The emergency transmission blinked red on the console, casting its glow across Ira's still face. Her fingers hovered over the activation pad, trembling, an unfamiliar, unsettling weakness she would have once chastised in a subordinate. But Mason's voice still lingered in the air like a soft echo. "Asterisk, you don't have to be what they made you." Asterisk. She exhaled sharply and tapped the console. The face of High Minister Zuril appeared, his ridged forehead furrowed with disdain. Commander Ira, we detect an unauthorized delay in your mission report. Have your loyalties been compromised? She stood at attention, posture perfect. No, Minister. All protocols are intact. I was conducting extended surveillance of human behavior. Extended? Zuril sneered. You've been off schedule by 5 cycles. The council grows, curious. Return immediately. Our patience thins. The screen blinked black. Ira turned away slowly, her shoulders tightening with every step. She knew what that order meant. Her bond with Mason, if that's what it was about to be severed. Permanently. She returned to her quarters in silence, eyes forward, expression blank. But behind closed doors, her fists trembled. Her pulse surged. She couldn't suppress it anymore. She initiated her return protocol. Navigation. Docking prep. But she couldn't make herself send the final confirmation. Her mind was at war, between the blood of her ancestors and the fire the human had lit inside her. Then came the knock. 3 gentle taps. She opened the door. He was there, Mason, in civilian clothes this time, his face calm but searching. I heard the recall order. She said nothing. He stepped in slowly. Ira, you don't have to go back. Not yet. We can request delay. Diplomatic technicalities. Something. You don't understand, she murmured, voice low. If I don't return, they'll send a retrieval squad. And they won't be gentle. Mason looked at her, really looked at her. Then I'll protect you. The absurdity of it made her almost laugh. A human, protecting a Zyrelian elite from her own kind? Impossible. And yet, something in his voice made the notion feel less like madness and more like hope. You can't fight them, she said. I'll find a way, he replied. Because you're worth it. She turned away, clutching the edge of the steel desk. Mason, I'm not like you. I wasn't built to feel. What's happening inside me, it's chaos. He stepped closer. It's not chaos. It's life. And then he wrapped his arms around her, not in conquest, not in demand, but in warmth. Her body resisted for half a second before melting into his hold. Her claws grazed his shoulder, not to wound, but to anchor. She spoke into his chest. They'll exile me. Or worse. I know. Silence stretched, then she looked up. Then we need to disappear. He blinked. What? I know the outer paths of this quadrant better than most. There's a research colony near the edge of the neutral zone. Hidden. Unmonitored. We could go there. But we'll need access codes. I'll have to betray everything I was sworn to uphold. He nodded. Then I'll betray it with you. It took 3 days. 3 days of stolen glances, encrypted transmissions, forged clearances, and careful lies. But each lie felt less like a betrayal of her people and more like an oath to something bigger, freedom. They stole aboard a civilian cruiser under false IDs. As the vessel launched from the station, Ira stood at the window, watching the stars blur. Her people would already be hunting her. Maybe with kill orders. Maybe with reconditioning units. Mason stepped beside her, offering a protein bar. She smirked. You humans eat strange things. And yet you like the taste. She took it, biting slowly. Still doesn't mean I'm one of you. He chuckled. No, you're something better. You're you. They arrived at the research colony after 4 days of stealth travel. It was a quiet world, oceanic, with towering cliffs and cloud-drenched skies. The scientists had all left long ago, due to funding cuts. Now it was just wind, data terminals, and peace. Ira breathed deeply. Her exosuit off, her markings exposed, her scars glinting in natural light. I never thought I'd see a world without command codes or control protocols, she whispered. Mason sat beside her on the cliff's edge. Then you're free now. She leaned into him. But freedom had its price. That night, as the rain fell and their bodies intertwined, not out of command or obligation, but of pure, shared longing, Ira felt a surge she had no name for. He kissed her as though she wasn't an alien or a soldier or a fugitive, but simply his. She touched his face gently, reverently. Why did you fight for me? Because no one ever fought for me either. Until now. Her lips found his. And for the first time in her life, Ira didn't feel like a weapon. She felt like a woman, like a soul, like someone who mattered. But just before dawn, a sensor flared red. Zyrelian scouts were in orbit. To be continued. Ira's breath caught as the red light blinked in the corner of the console. They found us, she said, her voice eerily calm. Mason was already at the auxiliary controls, scanning the signal. 3 Zyrelian ships. scanning the atmosphere. No hails yet. They're looking, not hunting, yet. She nodded, armor plates snapping into place over her body. But it wasn't the uniform of command. It was modified, lighter, something she and Mason had built together in the quiet days between kisses and stars. He moved to her side. We have options. We could hide, disguise the signal, maybe even run again. She looked out the window, toward the endless blue horizon. And for the first time, she didn't feel fear. She felt clarity. No, she whispered. I'm done running. He looked at her. Then what will you do? She turned to him with steel in her eyes, but no longer the cold steel of Zyrelian command. It was a tempered steel, reforged by love and loss and choice. I will speak. I will tell them the truth. I'll make them see. Mason shook his head gently. They'll never listen. Then they'll hear, she replied. Even if it costs me everything. Moments later, she transmitted a signal. A direct hail to the Zyrelian flagship. This is Ira, formerly commander of the 7th Enforcement Legion. I am alive. I am not captured. I am not broken. I am changed. There was silence. Then a voice, cold male, commanding. You have violated your oath. Prepare to be taken. Ira stepped forward, broadcasting visual as she stood beside Mason. No. I have fulfilled the true oath to serve justice, to protect life, to evolve. I stand not as your soldier, but as your mirror. If you destroy me, you destroy the only path forward. The signal cut. Silence returned. Aboard the enemy ship, the decision boiled. But they never fired. The Zyrelians turned. Disappeared into the clouds. No message. No threat. Just retreat. Ira sank into Mason's arms, her entire body trembling. Not from fear, but from release. They let us go, she whispered. He held her tighter. Maybe they're not ready to change. But they know now that you did. Weeks passed. No ships came. No threats arrived. The colony became their home. They rebuilt the labs, turning them into hybrid research centers for interspecies harmony. Ira recorded messages, memoirs, teachings, not of war, but of feeling, freedom, and choice. Other species began to listen. Other Zyrelians, even in whispers, started to wonder. Ira's story became legend, not for the battles she fought, but for the one she walked away from. One night, under the soft light of 2 moons, she sat with Mason on the same cliff where they had first watched the stars. He rested his head on her shoulder. Do you miss them? Sometimes, she admitted. But not who I was. He smiled. Who are you now? She turned and kissed his forehead. I'm someone who was touched by a human and found her soul. He laughed gently. That sounds like a fairy tale. She looked up at the sky. Then let it be one. The kind that's true. The kind that teaches. Moral of the story asterisk. True change begins the moment we question the chains we were told to wear. Love isn't weakness, it's rebellion. And sometimes the greatest revolution isn't in conquest or command, but in the courage to feel.